pay attention. Pay attention. When you get the guidance to go left instead of right, listen. I'm a great believer in that. And I've really, since that moment, which was many years ago, I really have cultivated the time and the space to listen to my own wise guidance. And it's always led me to higher ground. That's all I can say about it. It's led me to higher ground. And it's led me to some extraordinary people and some really wonderful experiences as well. What is my wise guidance leading me to? You know, you can read all the books in the world, all my 28 books, and not get anything. What you really need to get is yourself. What feels right for you? And being willing to change your mind and something.
Today's guest is one of my favorite humans on the planet of all time, the incredible Ambika Wauters. Now, we have done a few episodes with Ambika in the past, and if you go on Spotify and use the search box, that's probably the easiest way to find them. Just type Ambika in the search box. It is episode 294, 323, 324, 365, 380, and 423, which is actually a replay of an episode she did on her own podcast called Unscheduled Flights with David Lilly. But there's a few episodes there for you to listen to. So if you haven't heard of this amazing woman before, go and check out all the past episodes so you can get the lowdown. She has written 28 books. She's done oracle cards. She's done incredible artwork. She's done so many different courses on elimination remedies and divine feminine and all sorts of other bits and pieces. So you can find out a lot of information on her website, lifeenergymedicine.com. Today, though, we are specifically speaking about her latest book called Life Energy Medicine Bible, which really goes through the chakras and the various things that we can do to help heal the chakras. And today we specifically focus quite a bit on the base chakra, which, as you will hear in the episode, is very important. I mean, they're all important, but the base chakra really is, the foundation. So I hope this episode will be helpful. If you want to get a copy of Ambika's book, check out Amazon. It's nice and easily available all around the world. If you do get this in time for Christmas and you want to give somebody a Christmas present, this is certainly a great one to give someone. And enjoy the episode, share it with your friends, and thank you for listening.
Welcome to the Homeopathy Hangout podcast, where we discuss all things homeopathy from around the world. And now our mum and your host, Eugenie Kruger.
Hello, lovely homies, and welcome back to Homeopathy Hangout, where today we get to have a hangout with the most beautiful Ambika Wauters. Welcome back to the show, Ambika.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
We're just having a giggle because we've just had such a lovely chat. And I was like, we should probably record at some stage, hey, because I just can talk with you all day long, Ambika. And just want to say, I think one of the things that I appreciate with you most is how hard you're working to share the knowledge that you have accumulated over these decades of doing all the deep work that you've done. And you're actually at 80 and fabulous, producing all this incredible work. Instead of sitting back on your laurels, you are working your butt off to get this information out so that we can learn from your decades of hard work. So firstly, I just want to start off and say thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, it really means a lot to me. I've had wonderful teachers my whole life. From the beginning of my education as a young child, I was blessed with amazing teachers in all kinds of fields, but particularly in homeopathy and energy healing. I really feel blessed by the people who answered my endless questions and never made fun and allowed me to learn. And I think that's, if there's anything that I can pass on before I'm off the planet, is what I have learned and what I've been able to apply. And it needs to be shared. I mean, that's the community. That is the community that we are a part of. And in integrity and in humility and in gratitude, I think we all have to pass it on. The newbies that are coming in, who are going to be at CHE in Australia and New Zealand, are very, very lucky to have you for a teacher. And I talked with Marcus Fernandez yesterday, and I feel the same about anybody who comes into his auric field. And you want good teachers. I think good teachers are the best gift we have. And I'm a writer, so I like I like writing books a lot. A lot. And yet another one.
I was just looking on the back here because it said you've written 28 books now, apart, and then on top of all your art and your oracle cards, which I need to make a note here because I need to chat with you. Well, maybe we can talk about that at the end because I really want to get all of your oracle cards, but I just need to check where the best places to get them from. But
We'll talk about
all
it.
that. Today, however, we are talking about, and because it's actually a rewrite of your existing book, right? So this is the Life Energy Medicine Bible. And just for those watching the video, look how beautifully color coordinated Ambika and I are. We're even color coordinating with the cover of the book. So especially for you on Rumble and YouTube, nicely color coordinated. This is a massive, and you've rightly called it a Bible because I think it's got.
Yeah, it's
if
a big
you,
book.
well, maybe you tell me a little bit about the journey because you wrote this book. When was the first edition? It was a few years ago, and this is the.
It took me 20 years to complete the book.
Okay.
And one day I'd just come back to America after being away for nearly 30 years. And I was living in Colorado, and I went for a walk, and all of a sudden, like, inspiration hit. Like, I love the chakras. I call it the ladder of love. And it's a model in which many, many things fit. Gemstones and crystals, oils, essential oils, foods, colors, musical sounds, the angelic realm. And I thought it has to also hold homeopathy and the flower essences. So I started writing about the chakra and then adding the nosode, the conventional, I don't want to say conventional, but the polycrest remedies, then the cell salts, and then the flower essences. Flower essences take up pages and pages and pages because they're thematically organized. The qualities for the root chakra, the issues of the root chakra, acceptance, belonging, community, family, all that. The wonderful flower essences that are in the world. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, for those watching on video, while Ambika's talking, I'm just going to flick through the book because I always think it's nice to have like a little bit of an idea of an overview of how the book's laid out, what's in there. So you just keep chatting and I'm just going to flick through.
Okay. And then with this new edition that Jenny's holding up, I put in affirmations. I put in questions. I learned a lot. I did a whole book on the chakras. So it was nothing but questions that you could work with your family on. That book was called Life Energy Medicine.
Is it this one? Healing? No, okay.
No,
Healing
it's another one.
I've got a few of your books here, so I don't have all 28, but there's a few here.
This new book has got questions, and questions are wonderful because they really make you start to reflect on how is your energy field and what needs to be enhanced and what needs to be harvested out. It's got meditations, reflections, prayer, but it covers a vast amount of territory. And it's really encyclopedic. It's a reference book. This is not light bedtime reading. It's really not. But it's a way to say you've got a person with self-confidence issues. Well, that's the solar plexus issue. And the way we build the solar plexus is our wonderful homeopathic remedies like silica, lycopodium, even sulfur can be considered a remedy to really balance the ego. The egoic forces that reside in the solar plexus respond beautifully to homeopathic remedies. It's not just about physical digestion, it's about emotional digestion, the ability to break down an idea and assimilate it for use. So you can look in here and see what the nosodes are, what the remedy is, what the cell salts are, what the color and sound remedies are, and what the flower essences are for the very particular issues like self-confidence and self-worth and self-esteem and all the qualities that go with it. It's also got a little bit about the angelic realm that works within the chakras. The archangels work within the chakras, and so they're included in this book that Eugenie Scott. I just put in all the meat and potatoes that I knew and had under my wings, and you can decide whether this is something you want to use for yourself, or you see an issue that maybe isn't responding in the way you'd like it to respond with a constitutional remedy. So it's meant to help. It's just chock full of knowledge and I don't like the word information. It's a really overused word and a low vibrational word. It's filled with knowledge and wisdom that has been passed down. I was blessed to be given the Thomas Mann notes. Thomas Mann was the chief druid in Britain at the time that the horrendous airplane crash happened and the entire homeopathic community of Britain was wiped out. And yesterday, Marcus enlightened me more about that terrible tragedy. Thomas Mann and John Diamante were the two practicing druids who remained. They were druids. Thomas Mann was an acupuncturist, homeopath. John Diamante, I believe, was also a homeopath. And they trained a whole new generation of homeopaths. They took it upon themselves that this medicine would not die. And they trained the people who were in the Druid order. So they became my teachers and the teachers of my teachers. So this knowledge got passed down, and I was gifted with Thomas Mann's notes on pregnancy and childbirth and which cell salts to use in which month. And I'll tell you something, I've brought a lot of babies in my time, and I've had midwives call and say, "What did you give her? That birth was, she popped that baby out and it was fast and quick and beautiful." And I've had doctors call me, "What did you give her?" And those notes I've used them for years and years and years, particularly in childbirth. And they're in that book, which I had to pass on. That was something.
We actually sell that series as well, and it wasn't until recently that I discovered that it was John Diamante and Thomas More. I don't know which one of them, or if it's the both of them that came up with
both of them
pregnancy tissue salts that you kind of alternate them.
Oh, they're wonderful.
Yeah, it is wonderful. Yeah.
So there's a lot in there that's tucked away, and it's, like I say, it's a reference book. It's encyclopedic. And it just took a long time to do. And it was good. It was good having that to fall back on when there was, a hiatus in my work or I was on holiday. It was like, okay, well, I think I'll look at that now. I love doing it. I really, really love doing it. And I'm happy to pass that on. You can get it on Amazon. And I think in Australia, you can get it through Eugenie.
Actually, just Amazon. We don't have that at the moment. But this one was actually Amazon in Sydney. So it was just
yes, there's Amazon in Sydney.
Yeah, so it's easy enough to get through there.
Which really makes it, you were to send that thing out. It weighs...
They do it so quickly. It was like in a
so quickly and so well. God bless them.
I wonder, can I run through some of these things that you've got in here? Because, you've mentioned it, but there's actually even more in here than what you have mentioned. So I wonder if we can maybe start with the root chakra, because
Sure.
It says obviously location, the perineum at the base of the spine, and then the age of resonance is conception to age 7. And I think so many of us have issues that stem from that kind of, age.
No kidding.
And so many of us have root chakra issues. I definitely have root chakra issues as well, I'd say.
I'll tell you something. I'm writing a book now that is just on the root chakra.
Oh, amazing.
I'm doing a very special class for my students on just the root chakra. 5 weeks on just the root chakra.
I think it's really important. It's really important.
It's hugely important because it carries ancestral trauma. That's why. It carries stuff that we have to work out that isn't really ours. And what I'm doing now is I'm looking at the triggers. What are the triggers that set things off? Meanness, jealousy, hate, disloyalty, betrayal. These things they're caught in the fine etheric web of our root chakra aura, and they can get triggered, but they are meant to be released. Everything that comes up, we know this in homeopathy, anything that comes up, it comes up to be healed. And it's the same with these issues in the chakras. And I'm really looking at ways to release this energy. 2 of my students who work with Source AI have developed a remedy, Source AI root chakra, that they did just for me for this class. And I'm very excited we're going to be doing our own little podcast in 2 weeks, and I will be sending that out, and we're going to be doing a book. And I'm very excited about what they created because I had a lot of healing, did the proving for that remedy, and it was just outstanding. stuff was coming up. It was like fireworks. It was something. And the whole root chakra really healed. And it healed all the way up through my spine, right into my head. I could feel it in my eyes. And just finding the remedies, finding the way through the morass of the head of the root chakra. Because everybody wants to be in the higher realms. That's one of the things, one of the reasons I've done this work for so long. Everybody wants to be up there, high and flying in the crown chakra, working through their third eye. The truth of it is, if you haven't sorted out the foundation, you're going to go up and then you're going to plummet down right on your bottom, because it is foundational work that has to be done before you can truly ascend to those high realms. So everybody's climbing, everybody's meditating, everybody's up there, and then something happens, an injury, an accident, a situation, a betrayal, and bam, you're down on your butt again, wondering, why did this happen? So creating a solid foundation, it's like homeopathy. We can play in the realm of nozos, we can do the imponderables. I mean, I love the imponderables. I play in them a lot. But the truth of it is, if you don't have a solid foundation, if you don't have a solid core of knowledge, you're never going to hit it in a way that really clears the field. And it's the same with energy work. You have to be able to, Jung called it the shadow. Look at the shadow. I don't call it that. I think of it as engraftment, that word that Jeremy put on the map. Engraftment. It's something that an ancestor was not able to deal with. We've come out of 2 serious world wars. My generation has. Your generation has seen several wars. Wars bring famine. They bring injury. They bring wounding, separation, loss. All these issues become engrafted in the root chakra. Mental illness, particularly, is something that I've seen in cases over the past few years. Is mental illness is engrafted in the root chakra, and it's passed down until it's generationally. Somebody has the courage to just face it head on. What is this? And why is this sister or this sibling or this cousin, why are they dealing with mental illness? And it can skip a generation, but often it goes right through the generations until somebody faces it dead on, not medicating it, not numbing it, but just looking at what happened back there with your great grandmother that made her nuts, made her crazy. Sometimes women lost babies, pregnancies were lost, or babies died young, or people were taken with war. So many issues just get stuck in the root chakra, and then we think that's ours. Where it's ours is it's ours to work out. It's ours to face and release. Identify, release, bless, and hand it over to the spirit world too.
I'm resonating so hard with the root chakra stuff at the moment. And when you're saying this, I'm being unbelievably triggered at the moment, which means it's something that I need to heal in myself by all the fake spirituality I'm seeing everywhere. And people advertising themselves as gurus, and I'm looking at them going, you're all of 25. Like, what have you possibly done in this lifetime? And that is me having my own judgments, right? And who knows what their journey is, and maybe they are. So I am completely affected.
Maybe they are.
Something can't trigger you if it's not an unhealed part in yourself. So I clearly have an unhealed part in me about seeing these people who I perceive have not done the work, who are positioning themselves as, especially spiritually. I feel it is just, of all the fields, spirituality is even more off-putting when you have, like, I don't know, charlatans or whatever in that area. And
yes,
I don't actually want to go too much into that because it's something that I'm working on at the moment through that remedy that I'm making, which, by the way, I sent you yours yesterday. And,
good.
a few other things, but I'm just seeing a lot of that. And I realize that this is it all needs to come up for us to be healed. But exactly what you're saying, everyone's wanting to be up here, but actually getting grounded in that root chakra, then I think that's
getting grounded is spirituality. Because what gets grounded is your spirit. This is the root chakra is about incarnation. Do you know about the Waldorf school education?
Yeah, my kids go there.
Your kids go?
Yeah.
Great. Well, they have been doing this for over 100 years and getting children. They know about the incarnation of the spirit.
Yeah.
And the Archangel Michael bringing that spirit into the physical body and bringing it down, 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 till it hits the root chakra and grounds a person in this physical reality that we call life and the world. And it's a brilliant concept because until that spirit is grounded in reality, people are floating out there in the ethers, and sometimes you see these little children who just couldn't incarnate for some trauma or some fear or some illness. They're kind of hovering. They're hovering. And sometimes I've seen them where they couldn't even get into their own heart chakras. It's like they wore their heart on their sleeves. Literally, the heart energy was outside the physical body, and you kind of wanted to hold them close. But that is the root chakra, getting grounded in the physical body, in physical life, and knowing what a moral compass is. There was a brilliant, brilliant anthroposophical doctor here in the United States named Philip Nkeo, who's, I believe, passed on. And he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And his whole job was to help children incarnate. And that's why he was so deadly opposed to vaccinations. And he wrote a paper, I'm going back 15, 18 years ago. He wrote a paper on what vaccination did. And it wasn't any of the mumbo jumbo about immunity or anything. He said, basically, vaccinations hardens the energy system, and they can't tell right from wrong. Now think about it. The moral compass of knowing what is right and what is wrong, what is a lie and what is truth, what is good and what is bad. There's no sensation of knowing that within oneself if they've had a lot of vaccinations, because vaccination hardens the impulse. It hardens the impulses throughout the body. It hardens the nervous system, which is one of the reasons everything else goes off. But that made more sense to me than anything. A really grounded child, by the time they're 7, should have a moral compass in place. And that's the work of the parent and the work of the teachers to really develop that. I always thought the root chakra was the most important chakra, that without it, nothing could get anchored and put into the world, projected into the world. And that includes good and bad.
I just want to kind of convey to our listeners the value of this book. And so I thought if we can kind of go over everything in the book, but I feel if we maybe even just really get through to them how much information you can get from this book on healing your root chakra, then I think that will be really helpful. So you've got here like the glandular connection of this is the adrenal cortex of the kidneys. So, I mean, oh my gosh, that tells you a lot.
The fight or flight syndrome. The fight or flight syndrome is based in the root chakra. Yeah.
The color red, the musical notes middle C, the type of music is drumming, the element is earth, the aspect of intelligence is administrative and organizing principles, the sensory experience being smell, essential oils like cinnamon, garlic, and sandalwood, crystals like ruby, bloodstone, hematite, aspects of the planetary system, the earth and the sun, astrological associations, Capricorn. Metal is lead, earthly preserves the sacred lands of all indigenous people. You talk about mythological animals, the white elephant with 7 trunks, the plant is sage, the quality is patience. There's more life issues, to value the material as sacred, to find trust in place of despair, to persevere in the face of challenge. Movement includes yoga, walking, cycling. There's more here. I'm just kind of skim reading through some of it. Spiritual activities, noticing the beauty and perfection of the natural world, affirming your right to belong, to be part of, and to freely participate in a family, group, or community. The functional archetype is the mother. Dysfunctional archetype is the victim. Angelic presence is the Archangel Michael. And then Ambika goes on about the influence of the chakra. And then, as she said, there's all the essences in there as well. It's also I love that you've got bushflower essences in there too. Thank you. On behalf of Australia.
Well, I love them. Oh, I love the bush essences. They are so powerful.
And the homeopathic remedies, I love that you've got these in here as well. And of course, serenum is in there for the root chakra.
The nosode, yeah.
The nosode. So you have got so much that you can work with. So as a homeopathic practitioner, I would imagine that if you prescribe a remedy like serenum that you can see is clearly well indicated and it's not working, that you could then use possibly some of these other tools in here, like getting the client to do some drumming or to work with these essential oils or to give them some bushflower essences or to get them to do the types of movement that is good, or maybe wear the color red to help, or things like that to help with the root chakra so that their body can better receive the remedy. But then also as a home user, you can use this book. But this is what I was going to ask you. So say, for example, I want to work on my root chakra. Would I just do all of these things? Would I go and like wear sandalwood every day and wear red every day and hum middle C and then do drumming and do earthing every day? And like, how would you say, basically, how do I fix my root
Sure,
chakra?
why not?
Like now, can I just do all the stuff?
I mean, that's funny. I believe so much in the law of attraction that if something feels right, give it a go. If you feel like wearing red, I mean, listen, there was a time when I first came back to America and I was very unsure of every step I took. I wore red underwear. I had a red bra and red knickers and, red socks. And I just
Love
wore
it.
red. Get me grounded, get me grounded. And a woman came up to me once. I was giving a talk somewhere and she said, "Boy, I'd really like the kind of confidence you've got." She said, "What do you do?" I said, "I wear red underwear." She said, "Oh God, I'm going to go out and get myself a set now." Well, if you want to put sandalwood on your root chakra, the very base of your spine, by all means do it, and be creative and be innovative about it, because nothing is written in stone here. Nothing is written in stone. I like the meditations. They really helped me. When I first started doing this work, when I first went to the UK to study homeopathy, and I was there for 10 years, when the first couple of months were daunting. It's a very British word. They don't say daunting in America, but they do in the UK. It was daunting. And my little root chakra was the size of a halfpenny stamp. And now it's the size of a large barn. That's how I look at it. It's just, you build it, you build this muscle called the root chakra. You cleanse it, you purify it. You look at the issues that will come up. And they don't all come up at once. Nothing ever comes up at once. But when we're left with layers to deal with, like in homeopathy, we take it, we look at it, we study it, we observe it, we decide how we want to treat it, what's best. And it's the same with this. You don't go throwing serenum into your body unless you really know the remedy. That's for a homeopath to do. Too many things will come up when you give a nose, though. You really need somebody to monitor you. And that's why we have homeopaths. That's why homeopaths have homeopaths, I hope. Everybody needs their own homeopath. And we're really blessed in our family to have Jan Yamamoto Oldfell. She looks after us so well. And so we're just blessed. And she's so well educated, so well educated. So we all want we want balance. And that's what we're seeking. Don't overdo anything. Don't take a look at the work and study it and see if it appeals to you. And, take a cell salt that will anchor you. Look at the remedies. Look at the flower essences, because there are pages and pages and pages. Let me just do the flower essences for the root chakra. There's so many. The qualities start with abandonment, aggression, anger, apathy, blame, courage, darkness, depression and despair, discouragement, earth healing and nature awareness, emergency, enthusiasm, erratic behavior, fanaticism, flexibility, gloom, grounding, home and lifestyle, impatience, insecurity, involvement, manifestation, mother and mothering. That goes on for pages.
What would you put involvement under? So like unhealthy
Involvement.
So involvement, you've got California wild rose eating.
Involvement. Some people get so involved. They're so identified with what they're involved in. And right now in America, we have some real issues in politics, and people won't talk to the other side. And oh, it's horrible. They're too involved. They're too in it. They can't step back and see everybody's got freedom of choice here. So involvement, California wild rose, enthusiastic involvement in life, accepting life with all its pain and challenges. Evening primrose, enhanced emotional presence, ability to make commitment in relationships by resolving childhood trauma, abuse, and feelings of rejection. Fawn lily, inability to share oneself with others due to a reclusive or overly spiritual quality within the soul. Golden Yarrow, great involvement in life and in public affairs despite innate sensitivity. Hornbeam, greater involvement in the tasks of life, especially when tired, for no apparent reason. Mallow, involvement with others, developing warmth and friendship. It's finding balance in involvement. There are mothers that can't send their kids off to school without being involved in everything, everything, everything. Did you eat your celery today? They can't step back and let that kid make their own mistakes and make their own choices. I recently was talking to a friend of mine who's a brilliant therapist. I've known her for over 50 years. She's just a brilliant, brilliant therapist. And she has a granddaughter who she takes care of once a week. The granddaughter spends the whole day with her grandparents. And she was saying she feeds her breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and she always makes a point of letting this kid choose. So she says, do you want lox and bagels? And do you want cream cheese on your bagels? Do you want scrambled eggs with raisins? Or she gives this child choice. The child is only 5 now. And she's been doing this since the child was about 3. She lets the child choose. And I thought she said the reason she does it is because she's in childcare the rest of the week. Her parents are professionals. Her father works in IT, and her mother is a very deeply involved medical doctor for kids with horrible diseases. So this little girl is in childcare after nursery school or kindergarten. So she doesn't have choice. She doesn't have choice the rest of the week. She has to take what she's given. So I thought, wow, that is really brilliant. I thought about that. I thought, this woman is very, very good with people, with her children and her grandchild. And I thought that really made so much sense to me. There are people that don't know how to make a wholesome choice. They've never been trained in, would this be good for me? It's not the quick fix, and it's not the enthrallment and the quick, the fireworks, but would this be good for me in the long run? So learn how to choose is also about involvement. Being able to step back, look at the options, and make an informed choice. We talk about informed choice all the time in homeopathy when we talk about vaccination. We educate our parents to make an informed choice, which means you can listen to all the propaganda and the advertisement, but here are some cases you might like to look at where it may not be best for your child. Informed choice. So all these qualities, if people don't have them, we have to cultivate them. If you don't know how to be the archetype of your own good mother, guess what? Who wants to be a victim? Not me. So you have to learn how to be your own good mother. If your mothers have passed, like our mothers have passed, sometimes you think, oh, I wish my mom was here to tell me what to do. Yeah. But the truth of it is they live in us. They live in us, the good and the bad and the indifferent. How to become your own good mother, how to know when you need rest, how to know when you need good, nutritious food, or to see your homeopath, or to go for a walk, how to learn to take care of yourself in a beautiful, healthy way. So choice is a really important thing to learn. And I think involvement, that's interesting because people can get so involved where they follow everything. The guru said to do this. I have to meditate for 20 minutes every day. I have to get on my knees and pray. I have to do this puja. I mean, you meet them. There's people who have this whole litany of stuff they have to do. And it's all kind of mechanical because they can't feel what needs to be done.
And it's giving your power
They've
away
externalized.
as well. Yeah.
They give their power away. And involvement, it covers a lot of territory involvement. I think a good teacher says, well, how does that feel to you? How do you see this? When you say to somebody, well, can you see this? And they go, no, I can't see it. How do you show them what needs to be seen? To me, I had one really good teacher in homeopathy years and years and years ago, and he was Greek. And he loved telling a story. So I remember him, I'm talking maybe 30 years ago. I heard this, I think it was like in year 1. And he was talking about arsenicum. And he told this story about how a client used to come to his house every midnight and walk in front of the front door back and forth. And then he'd open the door and the guy would come in and he'd say, I can't sleep. And he'd give him an arsenicum. And the guy would go home and he'd go to sleep. And I've never forgotten that story. I think it's how I learned arsenicum. It's, they like to walk back and forth. They can't settle down. So stories are a wonderful way to get people to learn, to get to see what's there. Involvement. It's funny you picked it because it has many aspects.
It is actually funny because as you were talking, I'm like, oh, this is so great. I don't even know why I picked that word, but you know how it caught my eye.
I know.
Yeah. It's weird. As this conversation is going, I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
I'll tell you, one of the best, I guess, teachers I ever had was my midwife, Kate, in New Zealand. And I had her with both my children. And it was actually only after I had so this is actually a good example. There was this midwife in New Zealand who wrote this book that was really popular. And in that book, it said, you have to just leave your baby to cry until, and then eventually by 6 weeks old, they'll be able to sleep through because you just leave them to cry. And I was a new mum I was pregnant at the time. I didn't even have my kid, luckily. And I was like, that's such a great idea because then they sleep through. Because I didn't have this child yet. So I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And she's like, just leave them to cry. And I'm like, oh, wonderful. Then in the back of the book, I saw that she lives literally like 10 minutes down the road from me. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I want her to be my midwife. And so we got in with her. I was so happy. It turns out our birthdays were just like a couple of days apart. I'm like, oh, this is a sign. And then every appointment when we left there, my husband and I felt awful. Like it's just the energy of it. And I'm like, this was about 3 months then into the pregnancy. And I'm like 4 months in because I got a stress. As soon as I found out I'm pregnant, I got it. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel right. But I didn't want to disappoint her by saying I want to change midwives because in New Zealand, they have one of the best midwifery systems in the world. You can have whatever midwife you want and it's free. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to disappoint her. And then I thought, no, I need to do this because I just feel something awful is going to happen if I continue with this woman. Then I called the birthing center. I said, who is your most alternative midwife that you have? And they said, Kate. And I'm like, okay, Kate's my gal. Called her. Funny enough, our birthdays were only a couple of days apart as well. But what she gave me was one of the biggest gifts that anyone has ever given me. And whenever I said to her, Kate, do you think I should do this when my baby's born? Do you think I should do this when my baby's born? She's like, Eugenie, what do you think? She never answered.
A great teacher.
Never answered any of my questions. She just said, what do you think? And
that's so
and
beautiful.
Then there was once
Beautiful.
or twice where I did something where it was clearly because I said to her, oh, I want to make sure that I book him into the doctor at 6 weeks so I can start building a relationship with the doctor. And she's like, Eugenie, why do you want to do that? I'm like, what? What is the point of that? And then I had to think a bit further. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. So she just had this. So shout out to Kate, had this huge, it was the gift that she gave me I remember that feeling of, oh, I'm allowed to think. Oh, I have a say in this.
Oh, yes.
I remember thinking that. And it's like, I almost can't believe it now. But when she said to me, what do you think? And I'm like, oh, I'm allowed to think.
Isn't it that the purpose of everything we do to be able to recognize what is self say? What is self telling me? What is my wise guidance leading me to? You can read all the books in the world, all my 28 books, and not get anything. What you really need to get is yourself. What feels right for you? And being willing to change your mind when to say, I've had enough of this. I don't want to go any further down this path. This is not leading me where I want to go. Yeah, I really believe in tuning in and trusting your own wise guidance and learning. I often tell this story to my students. Is when I first got back to America, I had just a little bit of money, not a lot, but a little. And a friend said, why don't you invest it? And I had never really knew much about investment. So she told me about somebody who was good at it. And I gave him the little money I had. And he said, yes, if over so long, you have this much money, blah, blah, blah. And I gave him that amount of money. And one day I was sitting at my desk and I'm writing about the chakras. And this little voice in my head says, get your money out of the stock market now. And I went, whoa, like, what? I just put it in there like three weeks ago. And I thought, oh, can I really do that? And I heard it again, get your money out of the stock market now. And it was that emphatic now. I thought, okay. And I called this man. He said, you can't do that. I said, I have to do it. I have to get my money out now. I wasn't hysterical. I just said, no, it's my money. I'd like to have it. I'd like it out now. He was foaming at the mouth. He was furious. He was angry. He was rude. And at the end of the day, he cut me my check, and that was that. I didn't get the money the same day, but he said I'd get it. 2 hours after the phone conversation, the stock market collapsed. Like the bottom fell out of the stock market, and I would have lost every penny that had been put in. And that really taught me, when you hear the little voice say, it might be best to do this, pay attention. Pay attention. When you get the guidance to go left instead of right, listen. I'm a great believer in that. And I've really, since that moment, which was many years ago, I really have cultivated the time and the space to listen to my own wise guidance. And it's always led me to higher ground. That's all I can say about it. It's led me to higher ground. And it's led me to some extraordinary people and some really wonderful experiences as well. Wonderful.
And that's even more important now than ever before. I've said it on the podcast,
Absolutely.
but I think that's the biggest thing for our
Absolutely.
children with all the AI stuff. It's
Oh,
really hard to discern what's real and what's not. And so the
absolutely.
number one skill that we need to cultivate in our children is listening to their
Yes.
intuition, because that is going to be your
Oh,
guiding
it's
light
everything.
in this world. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was watching something on a YouTube feed with animals, and it was very enchanting. And then I realized it was AI.
Yeah.
This
There's
was
a
not real, but it
lot.
was,
There's a lot.
whoa. And I thought, I need to look at a few more of these so that I can really identify what is AI. And they're usually things that are really enchanting. They like enchantment. AI likes enchantment. And it's, boy, you will never know it is real if you fall for that.
It's a lot of that for sure. And I feel that giving our chakras love and healing them as much as we can and expanding them as much as we can, that is by default going to help our intuition as well. I just want to say to our
Absolutely.
listeners, Ambika has got a beautiful free meditation that you can get on her website. And I sometimes listen to it on my phone, sometimes on my laptop. And I was in a bath the other night and I'm like, oh, I'm going to put your meditation on while I'm in the bath. It was actually really nice. And if you want to start connecting with your chakras, or start, just take some time for yourself, this meditation is beautiful, and it goes through all the different
Thank you.
chakras, and it talks about the qualities that helps you with, the color, the shape, and you expand it, and all the it is really, really beautiful. I think it's something that I
It's
hope more
like
people
building
listen
it.
to it. It's a beautiful gift
It's
that you've given.
Thank you. It helps you build your energy body. It's like building your spine, building your muscles. One of the things I've just done, finished yesterday, is I've taken all my classes over the past 10, 12 years that I have recorded,
Wow.
and they are now on the website, and you can purchase them. They're all $25. So there are a
I
lot
didn't
of
even know
them.
that. You must have just done it. That's
I
incredible.
did it last night. Stephen and I
Wow.
finished it last night.
Wow.
Yeah, we got all of the ones that I felt I could share. And so they're all on there because I'm not teaching any more public classes. Not at the moment, not in 2026. It's all private work with small groups of people. And if anybody's interested in the color and sound remedies or the esoteric remedies, what I call the illumination remedies, or even my first aid class is on there. It's all recorded, and you can purchase it for just a nominal fee, and it's there. And I
I'm
felt
so
really good
glad
about
you've
putting
done
that up.
that. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you.
And there's, like, if you want to know, there are classes on the sacral chakra. There are classes on each individual chakra or each color remedy.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. A lot of material is up there, but it's now available. It's on Google Drive. And what you do is you purchase it and we send you the link, and you can get it right away or you can save it. And I felt really good about getting that up. That felt
Wow.
like the right thing to do.
Mm.
All these things take time and, good digital companionship.
We've got to give a shout out to Stephen. Thanks,
God bless
Stephen.
Stephen Edger. There's no life without him. And he's been wonderful. He's been absolutely wonderful.
So not just that, but you've also got your podcast as well, Unscheduled Flights.
Yes,
Yeah, interviewed
I
some
do love the
beautiful
podcast.
guests on there. It's great. And you
I
can find it
think,
on
well, you're on there.
Spotify. Yeah.
Yes, and
Thanks to Stephen. It's
Spotify.
on Spotify and everything else, but you can find it on YouTube.
I have never even listened to Spotify, but he gets me on. He does all the social media and he gets it up and running, and we're just deeply blessed. I asked him if he wanted me to do a podcast with him, and he said, absolutely not. But I think we're going to get Tony up on a podcast on the Mediterranean diet because he really loves that. Yeah, I thought that might be really good. And send me people who you think would like to share something about themselves. It's not just about homeopathy.
Well, you need to chat with Tony Hurley. I've tried to get him on my podcast a few times, but I think you and Tony.
Oh, good. I haven't seen him for
your chat with
30 years. I haven't seen Tony Hurley in 30 years. He was on his way. He had just bought a ticket to go to India. He was going to go to Kerala and do yoga on the beach. I hope he did. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny. It's all kind of coming back.
That interview of you and David Lilly was just the best, though. And I watched the YouTube video of it, and just seeing two octogenarians that are so vital.
Isn't he something? He's so something. 85 years old.
It's just, it was magical watching the two of you. So I've always said, I love learning from people who have walked the walk. I'm not interested in people who just qualified yesterday. I want you to have done the work, and then I want to learn from your mistakes. And, like, like, what did you do wrong that you can pass on to me so that I can make different mistakes? But I don't want, so I love learning and listening to people like you. And so, I want to see an interview with you and Tony. I want to see the two of you chatting and sharing your life stories. And,
I can actually see him in Manchester. We were both in Manchester, England, in the homeopathic clinic. And he was telling me about going to India to do yoga on the beach. And I thought, wow, that sounds so amazing. And about a month or two later, I went to India and that's where I met Papaji. Misha Nolan had gone, Jeremy Shear had gone, Rajan Sankaran had gone, Ernest Roberts and I went once by myself and once with Ernest. And it was just incredible. Just an incredible experience.
When you say Papaji, is that because I've just started listening to an audiobook on Spotify, actually. And
is it Papaji?
Well, this is the family name Bhatri? Bhatri?
No, the family name is Punja.
Oh,
Punja.
Okay. No, it must be different.
N-J-A.
Papaji is probably is it like a common name?
It means good daddy, so to speak, good daddy.
Okay.
But we all called him Papaji, and he was.
Okay.
There's a lot on Facebook now. Somebody has posted it a lot. So, and his guru was Ramana Maharshi, who was an acclaimed Indian saint, a really remarkable man who was enlightened at the age of 16, never left this ashram where he was enlightened. And there's a lot now on Facebook. I see it every day. There's more and more. Papaji, extraordinary man, and Ramana Maharshi, just every word that came out of his precious mouth was golden. He said something that I've never forgotten. He said, if something is meant to happen, there's nothing you can do to stop it. And if something is not meant to happen, there is nothing you can do to make it happen. And sometimes when I'm pushing against the river, I remember that. And then you just let go and go with the flow. And yes, there were some wonderful people. And there were also some people who took real terrible advantage of a lot of good people's goodwill. And that's where you have to know. When people come with shame and guilt and all the triggers, and somebody puts a power hook into them, that's what they call it, power lining in India. You've got to be really careful of those levels of manipulation. Because again, it comes down to really knowing. A good guru just wants you to know yourself and let your mind melt into your heart, and your heart melt into yourself, and yourself melt into God. It's just the nature of the work of a really good teacher. And if you're not connected inward, it's going to be hard to find that in life, in partners, in business, in your practice, in the schools you send your kids to. Do you want prestige, or do you want somebody who's really going to educate your children? I mean, We're all left with all the glitter and all the glitz and all the glamour and all the enchantment, like the AI. Wow, I was so hooked on this little video clip of a tiger playing with an eagle or something. It's like, oh wow, look at that, look at that. And it was like, oh come on, this is AI. This is
Enchantment's
AI.
a good word for it because you see them.
So all the work any of us do in any modality is bringing people to that love of self, love and respect and humility and connection. That's what we do. That's what you do. That's what you're teaching. That's what Marcus is teaching.
Aw.
Yeah.
Dear Ambika, where can we find all your goodies, especially your oracle cards? Because I think I asked you, but I didn't write it down a while ago because I asked you the same question. But Christmas is coming up, and I'm just like thinking, where can I get some oracle cards?
You'll need to get them
your
from
angel
second.
cards.
Can't get them.
At all.
They're not in print. They're not in print. And
Can you
I
make them
did
in
this.
print?
Well, I could. I've got to think about it. It's a costly process. And
Can we do like a order where we like bulk, like we pre-order them, like all of us who want them pre-order them, and then you have the funds up front to get them printed or something like that?
Why don't we put a little powwow and talk about it? Because I've got the rights to these oracles, and one sold 2.5 million copies. The Angel Oracle sold 2.5 million copies, and I think they're still owned by Random House. But the Angels of Light, that I have the rights to, and they're my own paintings.
Wow.
And they're really beautiful. And that's why I did that book, The Angels Heal Us, with the angels and the affirmations and the prayers and that one. It was the best I could do, but I could turn them into cards easily enough. It's not like hard work.
If you can do that, that would be amazing. It was so funny because for ages I was like, how does she do those spectrals in there? Like there's a spectral, what do you call it? I'm like, how do you do
the
that? I don't
rainbows?
get it.
Know.
And then when I saw a photo online somewhere of you doing it, and I'm like, oh, now I get it.
Oh, that's so funny. I took them into a shop. I took them into an art shop to get them framed. And this woman said, look, there's a rainbow on there.
Yeah.
Where's it coming from?
The first time I saw it, that's exactly what I thought. I'm like looking around going, where's that coming from? And then like, oh, it's not moving. Oh, it's in the book. Oh.
I've got the south-facing window, and I've just filled the whole window with hanging crystals. And so when I open the curtains in the morning, the whole room is filled with rainbows on the floor, on the walls, on the ceilings, on the door handles, everywhere. And I thought, wow. And it hit one of my paintings that was lying flat on an art table. And I thought, oh my goodness, let me photograph that. And then the other day, I thought I wanted to do it with a special painting, but I have to get up at 6 a.m. to get that light. I'm up at 6. I've got my phone. I'm on the floor. I'm photographing these rainbows everywhere. I've loved it. And people, when they see that I do art shows every now and then, I'm doing one this weekend, people say, how did you get that? Did you paint that? I said, no, I think I've started a whole new art form called spectrum art form. Because
I think you have, because it really really captures the eye, and it's quite magical. It's
lovely to do. It's lovely to wake up to that light. It's almost like light beams are all around me. It's in my closet. They're on my clothes. They're on my blankets. They're on the wall. They're on my pillows. Somebody comes into the room and it's like they're covered in rainbow.
I mean, I think that's got to be good for your energy. Surely it's good.
Gotta be.
Yeah. And your books, I think mostly people can just get them on Amazon these days. Is that pretty much the best way to get hold of them?
Amazon carries everything, and KDP is the publisher of preference. I've got Healing the Light Body is going to be published by Saltire Books, the same people who do, I think, Manny Nolan's book,
and Nolan's book,
and David Lilly's book, and that should be out in the next couple of months, I would imagine. They've worked very hard on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Satire. Do you
Yeah.
say saltire? How do you say that?
I don't know. I think saltire is saltire.
Saltire is what I say.
Yeah.
First I
We'll
was
go with
thinking
that.
it was salt air, but it's not
Salt.
salt air.
We can go with salt air.
You know, salt air who's
That's interesting
publishing my books.
so they're going to be doing that one. That's interesting because I always
Yes, and they
wonder.
may be doing some others.
It's such a catch-22 because Amazon's such a great way to get your book out to so many more people. But then I don't think you probably don't get paid very much for it. Same with having your
Oh,
music or something like
you'd be
Spotify.
surprised. Every month there's, it just adds up. Really just
Okay.
adds up. And it's every month
Yeah,
there's
as long as it's worth
royalties.
as long as it's worth it's worth for you doing it there, then it's
I
good.
like that you can reach so many people with
It
Kindle
makes a big
and
difference.
people who have no knowledge at all of homeopathy. It's a great place to do the homeopathic books. And if Saltire is a homeopathic, primarily a homeopathic publisher, they're based out of
Scotland?
Edinburgh, I believe, out of Scotland. I believe it's Edinburgh
I think
or
it's
Glasgow.
Glasgow on the back here, yeah.
Glasgow, yeah. And they're very good publishers. I mean, their books are clean and clear, and I've really enjoyed working with them. And I
It's a
hope that
beautiful
they'll do some
print,
more.
this of Luke's Animalia, like really nice quality paper, really beautiful cover and everything.
Yes,
I'm
I think
excited
they
to see
really
what they
are
do with
about the
yours.
quality.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious too. They showed me a new cover and it was just beautiful.
Ooh.
Just beautiful, beautiful. And I was thrilled with it. So they're definitely about quality. We need more journals. What I really miss is the old Links. Remember Links, the homeopath? Did you ever see
Oh,
Links?
yes. Yeah, but
The
aren't they
homeopathic
back in
journal.
print now? Because I think actually, I
No,
don't know what
somebody bought them. Somebody
okay.
bought them, and it's quite different. They were wonderful. I learned a lot from the journals, and I still do. I still do. And there's a lot of education going on. It's a good time for homeopathic education for people who really want to learn and develop this as a science and an art form. And I congratulate you, and again, you and Marcus for taking CHE to new levels and new people. So keep it up.
Thank you, Ambika. It
Keep up
means a
the good
lot
work.
coming from you. It means a lot.
I'm
Okay,
really proud
so
of you. I'm really proud of what you're willing to commit to because it's a very big thing, educating people on this and doing it properly, doing it in a grounded, realistic, in present time way. And we need more good teachers. That's my thought about it. The old ones are going. So many have passed on in the past 5, 6 years.
yeah,
So
it's
many
been so
really
many.
great teachers. Wow. They were stunning teachers. So
I think they've got lots of work to do in the spirit realm to help all of us from that end.
yes, I call on them often.
So
Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you.
such
It's
a pleasure. I just want
always
to
a
run
pleasure.
everyone through the links as well so they can go to lifeenergymedicine.com, and there's no like in-person courses for 2026, but you do have your private ones that they can do, and they can go to Amazon for the books. Check out the Unscheduled Flights podcast. Check out the free meditation on Ambika's website, so lifeenergymedicine.com. If you scroll down to the bottom, there's like
and the art is also on the website.
The art.
The
and there's
angel
also,
art.
you've also got ambikawauters.com, which I think you've got more of your art and stuff on there.
That's where the art is as well. Yeah. And people it's all angel art, angels, Madonnas, and nature spirits in very vivid colors. So yeah.
And then we're going to get the oracle cards reprinted somehow. Watch this space.
Well, I like the idea and I'd like to talk to you about it because I think you have more an understanding of how to do it than I do.
Well, I don't know if I do, but I always figure if you want anything bad enough, just ask enough people, like somebody knows.
Okay, we're asking all of you. I need help getting these angel cards not created. They're all paintings that are there. How do we get them put into cards and distributed worldwide? If anybody has got a good idea on that, please contact me at Ambika at ambikawauters.com. I'd be more than interested in listening. I never put anything like that out ever in my life.
I'm excited to see where this goes. Dearest Ambika, I know there's lots more talking to. So it's just farewell, not goodbye, or whatever the saying is. I know it's just a short little goodbye. We'll get to chat again very soon.
Cutscenes.
Thank you. Yeah, Totsies. Oh my
Thank you.
gosh, I can't believe you know
Totsies.
that.
Yeah.
And this episode's going to go out it's still in 2025. So it's nice that people will get to listen this before the new year, and then they can get all your books and start fresh with the new year with your books.
That's so sweet of you. Thank you so much, Eugenie. It's just a pleasure, an
Always a
absolute
pleasure.
pleasure to see you and talk to you and see what you're doing for the world. I just want you to know I'm really proud to know you. And I mean that. Godspeed with all you're doing.
Ditto. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye-bye.